what happened? We started doing interracial marriage. We started mingling amongst the people, and we started taking on their gods, so we started committing idolatry. So the first thing, when you read like around the book of Nehemiah, when he's building the temple again, he had to have them put away the strange wives. He had to have them put away the idolatry from amongst them. The same thing I'm doing today when I'm showing you Christmas in the Bible. Ashtaroth as well. Ashtaroth is the goddess Ishtar. It's just translated over time. Same God, same concept. You understand? It said, put away from you these gods from committing the sin of idolatry. Read.
And prepare your hearts unto the Lord.
So you got to now, once you do that, you start to prepare your heart, prepare your mind to serve God in truth. Meaning you got to understand the fringes on the border of your clothing, not buying on the Sabbath, interracial marriage, our sisters wearing pants, all those things. You got to start preparing your mind to serve God. That's what it's talking about. But he said, why did he have to say idolatry first? Why did he have to say, put away from you these strange gods? Go to Jeremiah 10. Because when we came over here on slave ships, and we got off the slave ships, and they sold us from, they put us on the auction blocks, put you on that plantation, put your mother on that plantation. You started to learn their ways. That's what they did. It's called the Willie Lynch letter. They had to break you down. They had to break you down mentally. And as they broke you down, they built you back up in the image of what you call the American nigga today.
Right.
The way that you see us move today, that was made in slavery. You understand that? But watch this, Jeremiah 10. Also, on the Sabbath day, before we get that, because why? We was asking the brother earlier, what was the seventh day of the week? He struggled with it a little bit. You understand? Why is that?
If I had a choice of where I want to be, you can see me running to the battleground. Front line, first infantry. I want to be the first one there to get down. I would die on a daily. I'm coming up to sacrifice me right now. Put me in the army of the Most High. Put me in the army of the Most High. Milk dripping from my cheek, but I put down the rattle, for thou was girding me with strength for the battle God handed me.
Why don't we know that the seventh day is the Sabbath? In slavery, they taught us to reverence Sunday. So you would work hard Monday through Saturday. On Sunday, slaves reverenced that day. Why? Because they got up and went to church. They didn't have to get up and go to the slave field. They got up, went to church. They actually had a decent meal. So we began to reverence the Sunday as the Sabbath of the Lord. But that's not in the Bible. We just showed you that the Sabbath is what?
The rest day.
Sabbath is the rest day, but what day is the rest day?
The seventh day.
The seventh day, which is Saturday. We learned that in captivity.
Right.
We also learned to reverence Christmas in captivity. Read Jeremiah 10, start at verse 3.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain.
So it says the customs of the heathen are vain. Now, my little sisters, listen to this. What holiday is this describing as we hear it, okay? Watch this.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
So it says somebody cuts a tree out the forest, all right? They cut the tree, read.
The work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold.
So now, what do we do? What did we used to do? We go take the tree, we'll cut it down, they bring it into the house, and what do?
They put it up.
They put it up, and what did they say they didn't do it out the Bible?
Silver and gold decorated.
They decorated with what?
Silver and gold.
Silver and gold. Now keep reading.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not.
Because that's what you just said. They put it up. So you cut the tree down, you take it in the house, you put it up, and now it's silver and gold. My sister, come around here, come around here. I'm asking her, sister, hey, you celebrate Christmas?
Not really.
You don't? Okay, so what we showing the young sister is we're going over interracial marriage and how whenever we marry these other nations, we start picking up their ways and their customs. So I'm asking the young sister, I said, what is Christmas in the Bible? She celebrates it, right? So now we're showing her Christmas in the Bible and if it's right to do. So read that from the top again.
Verse 3. Verse 5. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not.
Right, because why? The custom of a Christmas tree comes from worshiping a god. I think his name was Tammuz, or was it Nimrod? Worshiping Nimrod. We was worshiping Nimrod. So what they did was they believed that Nimrod's spirit will come into that Christmas tree, and if you didn't give it gifts, you didn't put gifts under that tree, if you didn't reverence that tree would come to life at night and kill you. Now, how crazy does that sound? How crazy does that sound?
Really crazy.
That sounds really crazy. But why do you put presents under a Christmas tree?
Teach your people.
To like reward your kids
To reward your kids?
for like the goodness they have been.
So you only reward your kids one time a year? In the Bible, you talking about holidays, it says on the new moons and feast days, look, we always gave gifts. So you count new moons where they come once a month, that's 12 holidays right there that Israelites give gifts to each other.
Right.
Not counting the Feast of Dedication, Passover, things like that. Right. So so we reward our kids one time a month, one time out the year?
Not really.
All right, so listen, we just now read that you put those presents under that tree to show obeisance to that tree. Not knowing that you were doing that, but that's what you're doing. That's why you decorated with silver and gold. The ornaments that you put on it, you know what that represented? Our heads. When they cut our heads off, when they slaughtered us, they hung our heads on those trees. And that's where you get your ornaments from. You understand? So why do we celebrate these holidays? You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, Revelation. Give me that, Revelation 1:11 and 12. I just now said that it was our heads on the trees, right? Not only that, what do we say on Christmas? What does everybody say to each other?
Merry Christmas.
They say Merry Christmas, right? Right? Isn't that what everybody says? Let's see if the Bible mentions that. John the Revelator was the one that seen the prophecy of America and the things that were done here. Let's see what John said. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 12. Read that.
Book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them.
Verse 10, verse 10.
Verse 10. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them.
So the day that's dwelling upon the earth is talking about the so-called white man and all those that took us into captivity. Read.
And make merry, and shall send gifts one to another.
It says the white man, he made merry, and they sent gifts one to another. What were those gifts, sis? What were those gifts? Y'all know? What was the gifts that they were giving to each other? You were the gift. Your kids were the gift that they was giving one to another.
Right.
I'm going to get that. Remember what you got?
This is the words coming to Antichrist 666. Nimrod, cut off in the midst of his power and glory, was symbolized as a huge tree, stripped of all its branches and cut down almost to the ground. A tree of an entirely different kind that is destined to never be cut down by hostile power.
Showing you why you reverence that tree. It's supposed to represent the god Nimrod. So when we bring that thing into our house, that's what you're worshiping. That's how God sees it.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the birth of Christ. It has nothing to do with Christ at all. It has to do with the whole nother God. Because guess what? Nimrod was during what time was Nimrod alive? Okay, we'll say Egyptian, right?
Right.
Was it the Egyptian before Christ was born? Was it the Egyptians before the Roman captivity? Right. So how then does this custom have to do with anything with the birth of Christ? If it was going on way before he even hit the earth.
Right.
Has nothing to do with him. Right?
This was a palm tree, and it became the symbol of Tammuz, the pagan Messiah.
The pagan Messiah. That's why you bring that palm tree. It's not the palm tree over here, it's the evergreen. But you can imagine on that side of the world them using the palm tree, right? Over here we just substituted with this evergreen tree. The same God though. Read.
This could explain the custom of the heathen of hanging their enemies' heads from their sacred trees.
The enemies to them was us, those that keep the law, statutes, and commandments.
Yes,
They found joy in killing us and making us a mockery, hanging our heads off of the tree.
Right.
You understand that? Now, why do you put Christmas lights on your house? Where the lights come from? What's December 25th?
Christmas.
It's Christmas, but what is it? Really? It's the winter solstice. The sun is the furthest away from the earth. You understand? So how did they reverence? A lot of people worship the sun. How did they reverence the sun? when it wasn't given light, they would put light on their houses to reverence that sun. That's why people put lights. It wasn't lights back then. It was like they'll put candles in their light to represent the sunlight that was not there because the sun was the furthest away from the earth. That's where these customs come from. And that's just Christmas. So now you got to start looking back and thinking about, well, wait a minute, what about Thanksgiving? What about Easter? What about Valentine's Day? All these deal with the destruction of our people. Have nothing to do with us. Understand?
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.